Today is a day for the launch of the new book by Shiraz Durrani, known as the Kenya War of Independence, published by Vita Books and distributed in Kenya by progressive African librarian and information activist Ukombozi Library. And worldwide the book is distributed by African Book Collective. At the same time, we are today marking the official inauguration of the Pali Act Ukombozi Library. We chose this day to honor also the two freedom fighters, the two heroes of our national liberation, Field Marshal Dedan Kimathi and Mzalendo Pio Gama Pinto, who were executed by the colonial and neo-colonial forces in this month of February.
Remember, remember, remember Kimaathi, all right? Remember, remember, remember Africa, eh? Remember, remember, remember O Pinto.
Normally when people look at, say, Mau Mau, it is in isolation, as if it suddenly turned up from nowhere. Whereas the point the book is trying to make is that there was a history of resistance before Mau Mau. Of course, there were different tactics and different conditions. Then the period of Mau Mau, which led to independence, but independence didn't lead to what Mau Mau were fighting for. And so the book goes on to look at some of the resistance activities organized mainly by the Mwakenya December 12 Movement. And another aspect of the book is it looks at the role of the trade union movement in the Mau Mau movement itself. So it was a working class movement. The demands were to do with economic and political requirements for the working people.
If you read American history, you see how far they have come to achieve what they have achieved, at least to agree that like the black people are African Americans. And you see the struggle which took place led by black people actually to force the government of the United States to accept it must be democracy for all. It must be equality for all. That we are talking of something we started just recently. And the people think that once we have the constitution, you have democracy. It's not true.
Kumekucha. Kumekucha imeingia asubuhi, kumekucha siku imepambazuka. Kumekucha wote umma tufurahi, miale ya jua siku ya mulika. Kumekucha ituambaye kirahi na nyoyo zetu ziwe kutukunduka. Kumekucha mbingu za piga siahi na ardhi nayo pia yatibwirika. Kumekucha kwa nukia njema rihi, sia ule uvundo wenye kunuka. Kumekucha mwishowe metanabahi, giza limeshtuka na kutimka. Kumekucha ni kwamba mekosa zihi, jogoo leo ameshindwa kuika.
It has dawned. It has dawned. Morning has broken. It has dawned. A new day has begun. It has dawned. Let us all rejoice. Sun rays illuminate the day. It has dawned. May unpleasantness keep its distance, and our hearts glow with happiness. It has dawned. Faced with inevitable darkness, run away in fear. It has dawned. The wickedness rooster failed today to crow.
Lakini kunga kucha. Najua linga angaza. Kunga kucha, nyoyo zinga tabasamu. Kunga kucha, sauti angapoteza, jogoo mambo yangamuya magumu. Kunga kucha, sauti tungazipaza, kwa ushangwe siku mpya kuisalimu. Kunga kucha, daima tuwe kuwaza, tutokako kukumbuka ni muhimu. Kunga kucha, tukumbuke walionwesheza mti wa ukombozi kwa zao damu. Kunga kucha, tusianze kubagaza, iliyotukabili ni kazi ngumu. Kunga kucha, tusirudi kujilaza, tukalala na kupotewa fahamu. Kunga kucha, lisije kutupumbaza, jua likatuia mbuaji sumu. Kunga kucha, wawezai wa mwangaza, ikaja hasirika tena kaumu. Kunga kucha, tujihadhari na giza, kwani laweza rudi kutuhujumu.
Though it has dawned, though the sun is shining, though it has dawned, though our hearts are smiling, though it has dawned, though the rooster lost its voice in the face of hardship, though it has dawned, though our voice exalt the new day, though it has dawned, forever we must remember our past. Though it has dawned, let us remember those whose blood nourished the tree of liberation. Though it has dawned, let us eschew idleness. Hard work awaits us. Though it has dawned, let us not slumber and lose vigilance. Though it has dawned, let us not lower our defense lest the sun poisons us. Though it has dawned, this light can be stolen, plunging the masses back into obscurity. Though it has dawned, we must guard against darkness, lest it return and assault us again.
Very few people are familiar with the true history of our national struggle, be it Mau Mau or the wider liberation struggle. Very few people, and this is because first of all, the colonial system made sure that Mau Mau was history and our Guinean history will not be taught. And then, unfortunately, the post-independence government, which was a neo-colonial government, also did not want that history taught for obvious reasons.
Home guards are the people who were recruited by the British against the Mau Mau. These were traitors, the people who sided with the British against national independence. They killed the people. They rape women. And they torture people in detention camp, all these. They were paid for that. Yeah. And some people, confused. Home guards were not only the Kikuyu. They were all Kenyans.
First of all, they encouraged division between nationalities, what they call tribes. So to say that, it was only these Mau Maus, and then to say that these Mau Maus were killers, they were primitive, to make other nationalities think that, we don't want to be associated with them. Then encourage other nationalities into the home guard situation also.
Pinto never sought status or income for himself. Whatever he had, he shared with fellow detainees or the needy. He died a father.
William Atwood wrote a book called The Reds and the Blacks. William Atwood was President Kennedy's first ambassador in Kenya. And in this book, he writes about Pinto. He calls him a brilliant strategist and comments on his death, saying that actually it was a blessing to the anti-Odinga forces. And he comes very close to saying that actually the Americans and the others killed Pinto, although he doesn't say that directly. But my note here is that, it's great for our famous patriots to be also glorified by our enemies, right? This brilliant strategists, he gave the Americans the run for their money. That book was actually banned by the Kenyatta government, along with other books published in Beijing Foreign Languages Press.
Pinto and Mackenzie, in a sense, represent the coming together of two continents. They got their experience in fighting colonialism, but also fighting imperialism from two continents, in India and in Africa, in Kenya. And at that time, India was much more advanced in terms of liberation struggles. There was a very strong communist movement. Mackenzie was part of the Indian Communist Party. And Pio Gama Pinto was a socialist. I have, I think, evidence which I cannot sort of talk about much, but there is some evidence to show that both of them had taken Mau oaths.
There is liberation oath, which people start taking since 1950. That oath was actually people to swear that they would support the liberation movement. They joined the movement against the British. Anyone who supported the underground movement took the oath. You could not join the movement without taking the first oath, the oath of unity.
Hata detention, webaki nyuma sitwaenda na haki. Oh, deportation, webaki nyuma sitwaenda na haki. Hata sheria mbaya, webaki nyuma sitwaenda na haki. Oh, sheria mbaya, webaki nyuma sitwaenda na haki.
Poverty can be stopped, but not by bombs and weapons from the imperialists. Only the revolutionary justice of the struggles of the poor could end poverty for Kenyans. So it's revolutionary justice we are after. And they can bomb people, but that will not bring that revolutionary justice. So when you think of Kimaathi, think of this statement of his and see what its implications are.
Na hasa tukiwatazama hawa watu ambao tumekuja hapa kuwakumbuka, Dedan Kimathi na Pio Gama Pinto, utaona kwamba walianza harakati wakiwa bado ni vijana. Pio Gama Pinto wameanza harakati akiwa na miaka 17 India, kabla ya kuja kuendelea nazo harakati za hapa Kenya. Dedan Kimathi alikuwa katika miaka, nafikiri miaka ya 20, miaka ya mwisho wa 20 umri wake alipokuwa katika harakati hizi. Kijana ambaye amefika umri wa miaka 18 au mpaka 20 akawa hakushughulika na kutaka kuleta mabadiliko, huyo lazima aende akamuone daktari. Okay, huu ndio umri wa mtu kutaka kuleta mabadiliko. Kwa hivyo ukifika miaka 18 mpaka 20, 22, wewe bado unakula raha tu, unafikiri jambo jingine la kuleta mabadiliko nchi yako, kuna kasoro fulani.
What they came up with is an ideology of socialism that brought in the issue of class into Kenya.
In April 1965, in a secret conclave, the group plotted a parliamentary coup, and Pinto was the rapporteur. They planned to present their alternative to the Tom Mboya-led sessional paper number 10 on African socialism. By now, a serious ideological rift had developed between Jomo Kenyatta and his clique and this socialist group, which was demanding a ceiling on land ownership, a more equitable distribution of wealth, and just rewards for the Mau freedom fighters.
Their experiences and what they represented and their commitment to what they were doing was quite unique. So it brought in until his death, Pinto was the ideologue behind Odinga, KPU, and so on.
Pio Gama Pinto was assassinated on 24th February 1965. He was gunned down in broad daylight as he drove out of his gate.
I wanted to draw a parallel between Pinto, Lumumba, Chris Hani, Thomas Sankara, and Amilcar Cabral, to bring home one lesson that we need to think very, very seriously about revolutions and counter-revolutions. it seems in all these parallels, some people got into government. We have been told what happened to Pinto. He was in the Mau Mau, organized, then gets into parliament, and he realizes that parliament is not going anywhere, and he starts mobilizing against the regime, becomes the ideologue of the Kenya People's Union, among other movements. And it's a very interesting story when you look at Amika Kabura, who was involved in the struggle, and he was killed by the counter-revolutionaries, Thomas Sakara as well, Lumumba as well, and Chris Hani. The historical lesson here is they are, like this book has tried to show, you still, in these movements, you have home guards and people who the imperialists want to hand over power to. And that's why there are so many deaths.
Long live Kimaathi, long live! Long live! Long live Pio Gama Pinto, long live! Long live!
We need information. And even if we can do a small thing like we are doing here, we can take one step forward, at least to reach there. It can take long. It can be a struggle to reach to the next stage. But information is very important. Information is reading. Information is actually video. Information is educating the youth.
Thanks to forces like Mwakenya December 12 movement and other resistance movements in the country who have kept that history alive in form of publications, in form of theater, and in form of celebrations like these ones that we're having today in the country and outside the country. That legacy of Mau Mau is preserved, for posterity.